16 drivers started off this round, this championship round. We're trying to find out who the next 12 championship contenders are going to be moving on to the championship round of 12. Taking a quick look, Preston Perrier, Ken Ellert locked in. They've got their berths to the round of 12. They are A-OK. Taking a quick peek here, we're looking at the Fatheads Cup Series. Alonzo King, Kenny Capola starting in the front row. Jumping right into the action here, lap number 1, green flag racing, and you can just see this beautiful track here at Road America. They do a great job with all the maintenance and everything here, and some fantastic camera work throughout the iRacing simulation. Taking a quick look at the points, though. Tim Wortman Jr., Ed Boyles Jr., Trevor Absher, Caleb Levener, Kenny Capola, they're in the safe zone. They've got anywhere between a 20 and a 49-point cushion over that 12th place position. But everybody else, Matt Mackin, 11 points. Wade Palmer, the 5th, he's got 10 points up. Alonzo King, 5. Derek Cook, 4. David Douthwaite and Colin Ziemer are tied for the 12th position right now. And it's just crazy tight points battle. Colin Ziemer, Jimmy Absher, and Mike Miller still mathematically eligible. Only 8 points back here. As we can see, Alonzo King, a little bit of a goof up there on lap number 1. No cautions here, being it's a road course, but he's going to find himself back in traffic. By the time he gets that thing pointed around there, you can see the 22 of Ziemer around as well. By the time Alonzo King gets that thing slated in the right direction, he's going to drop all the way back to 14th place. That's going to give David Douthwaite the lead. Ed Boyles Jr. follows him in second. Great racing here for the Fatheads Cup Series. Had a great race at Daytona as well for the Fatheads Recruitment Truck Series a few evenings ago. You can check that out over on the Fatheads Cup Series page. You can see the 13 having some trouble here. Preston Perrier pointed in the wrong direction. It looks like he's still trying to get that thing gathered back up there, stuck in the grass, trying to stay out of the, or trying to get out of the kitty litter, as it were. But he also, doing the gentlemanly thing here, doesn't want to come up in racing traffic. That'd be bad news bears for everybody involved. But there you can see, finally able to get back onto the pavement and get that car pointed in the right direction. Still in the lead lap. It's a long way around this track here at Road America. It's going to drop him all the way back to the 20th position, though. So it's going to take a long time for him to get back up there. But it's still up front. David Douthwaite holding on to that lead in the number 23 Columbia machine. New second place driver, same team, though. Hendrick Motorsports, the number 24 of Wade Palmer, the 5th. He is... He's only 10 points above the cut line for the championship of 12. We started off at Nashville Fairgrounds. We went to Pocono last week, and now we're at Road America to find out who's going to be in the Fatheads Cup Series round of 12. And speaking of Fatheads, walking into the production trailer for the very first time in a very long time, my brother from another mother, Rowdy Wesley Hogue, here to call some cup action with the Fatheads Cup Series. How we doing tonight, brother? See if we can get Wes to plug his headset in and get the right button pushed. Technology works out really well when we want it to, and it actually looks like it was on mine. Try one more time.
Yeah, you got me here, brother.
Yeah, first time, every time. How we doing, Wes?
Doing good, man. I found my spare key and need to use the bathroom late at night. Oh, man, I didn't know you're up here already. Calling a race here. A little bit of cup cars on this road course. I'm loving it.
Absolutely. These guys picking up a sponsor a few months back with the Fatheads Eyewear, so be sure to check those guys out over at fatheads.com. It's Fathead with a Z. Use promo code SHOWTIME, get yourself 40% off at checkout. And I actually got myself some Fatheads because I got a real fat head. I ordered the Black Nitro version 12, and the MSRP is $133. They're made in America. There's some sleek-looking glasses. I even got the clear frames, so you don't get the raccoon sunburn there when you wear your sunglasses out at the racetrack, which I'll be doing this weekend. Stafford Speedway opening up for the spring drizzler, as it's being called. It looks like rain Saturday night, so hopefully that holds off just a bit. But I was able to pick those up for about $80. So definitely shoot on over to fatheads.com. Use that promo code SHOWTIME. Join their street team, and they'll definitely be able to hook you up. And we like to support those that support our friends here at Vidane TV. And still status quo up front. The 23, the Camry machine of Douthwaite, he's up front. The 24, Wade Palmer, the 5th. He's rocking that second position. Matt Mack in another Hendrick Motorsports car. That number 9 Napa car, no stranger to victory lane here at the road courses. He's running in 3rd. Chris Spear in the number 7, he's running 4th. And there you can see the other Hendrick Motorsports machine, number 48 of Michael Miller, running out the top 5.
So one thing I like watching here with these Cup cars on the road courses, we're so used to seeing on the road courses either smaller cars, open wheel cars. When you get to see a Cup car on a road course that you don't typically see them on, that's not on the Cup schedule, it's always intriguing to me because it's kind of one of those fantasy bookings, Paul. It's like if I could one day, if I put these cars on this track, and you're able to do that here in iRacing, and we're able to get to see it right here and seeing the cool paint schemes with the teams and this 23 machine up front. Doing a heck of a job leading the way as we watch the 48 come out of the corner.
Battles all the way through the track here, and it's really awesome to see. These guys run essentially the NASCAR. They basically build themselves off of NASCAR. They run the actual NASCAR teams. All these drivers, they have to run NASCAR, the official paint schemes of that driver. So you'll see a lot of different paint schemes throughout the season. Oh, there we see the Exalted 24. He's off grid. He's down in the kitty litter. He keeps his foot in it, though, and he's able to hold on to it, get back on track. But that's going to give him the boot. He's going to drop on down to 5th or 6th. Going to hand the second position over to his teammate of Matt Mackin in the 9.
Man, when you get stuck in that sand, Paul, it is a 50-50 chance if you're going to get stuck in there for good and have to call the tow truck out or get your way out of it. And the 24 is able to get his way out of it with Palmer. But man, that's a tough one. But yeah, Mackin, with that being his teammate, I'm sure they have a little bit of communication there. I'm sure the 24 is voicing his displeasures with himself there. And you see blocking up the brakes here, coming through the corner, getting back on the bumper of the 23.
Yeah, a little bit different, actually completely different from the couple of tracks we just came from. Made mention we opened up this championship route with Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, and then we moved on to the Pocono Raceway, the Tricky Triangle up in upstate New York, as we're on board with the number 24 car, taking a look at the back bumper of his teammate. Somebody just off the grass there. You can see the dust kicked up over there on the left-hand side, but going to round out the round here at Road America, move on to the round of 12, and these guys are still going to be battling for a championship. It's been tight all season long, and when it comes down to crunch time, there's a quick peek at the leader, David Douthwaite, and his 2-second lead as he works lap number 4.
Since I joined here, Douthwaite's done a heck of a job keeping that car up front. When we get to catch an eye on him, he seems to really be hitting his marks. You can tell he's put a lot of practice in at this track. Beautiful ride as well. Beautiful paint scheme he's got. But I wouldn't count out Mackin. I've seen him race so many different times in different series. The guy's a heck of a driver. I definitely would not count him out with it, especially it being this early in the race here, Paul. Anything could happen. We already saw the 24 go off track. That's one thing about road course racing. It's kind of like super speedway racing, Paul. It's not over till the checker flag flies because there's so many variables.
And you made mention it's kind of like a fantasy booking, a little bit of wrestle talk, as it were, and it definitely is. And it was pretty cool to see. We got a little bit of a preview of the NASCAR race at COTA, the circuit of the Americas down in Texas a few weeks back with these FATHEADZ Cup Series drivers in these Cup cars. And man, that's a tight racetrack. It's one of the more difficult racetracks I think we've seen here on Verdane TV, and especially with these great big heavy stock cars. Because yes, it is a video game, it's iRacing, but iRacing does a fantastic job scanning in all the cars, the tracks. Everything is scanned in down to the most minor details, and it's really cool to see and feel these different race cars at different racetracks. And this is one of the more popular combinations, it seems like, with the Cup cars anyway. It's almost like a Watkins Glen, where it's been around a long time, and it's been in a lot of different racing games over the past few years. So pretty neat to see with these guys here in the FATHEADZ Cup Series.
It's, just the way that this whole course, and we got the 24 off the track again. Hard contact here, Paul. Not exactly sure who he collected there coming off the corner, but the 24 all out of control collects another car as they come across here. I believe that was the number 11 machine of Bowen. Big damage for both of those machines.
Yeah, and you can see the 43 car of Joshua Battles got up there and squished his hamburger helper. The 24 car really struggling here. Wade Palmer, the 5th. He's trying to hold on to that round of 12 berth. He's currently 9th in points. He's got a 10-point cushion over the 12th spot, and he really needs to get himself focused and refocused and really start to attack this racetrack. Seems like he's struggling just a little bit. Had a couple of incidents here throughout the night, but trying to give it his all, trying to make it off to the next round here, because the next round we head into New Hampshire, Indianapolis, and Michigan. So still very different racetracks, but a little bit more similar than this round.
It is, and as we come through the pack here, Paul. Looking at the 3 machine here of leading down the way, beautiful machine. But yeah, this is just completely different. It's a different breed that what we typically get to see. And as you were saying before, the little bit of the fantasy booking in this track, as I was trying to say for the 24, caught our attention. Is you just feel like you're on a golf course almost with this track. Just the wilderness and the scenery, driving through the trees. It gives you that Watkins Glen type feeling. But it's just so rare for us to see the Cup cars in a position like this. We're so used to seeing them around cookie cutter oval tracks, a couple of road courses here or there, but COTA is definitely one that stands out.
Starting to see a couple of drivers come down pit road. Looks like Wayne Bowen in the 11 machine, the 19 of Trevor Absher, 95 of Ken Ellert. They're going to come down and get some service to those machines. They've been on pit road for quite some time, so it looks like those are all damage related. And we can see the 88 of Ed Boyles Jr. down there as well. So a couple of drivers having some rough goes of it here. Ed Boyles, he's pretty solidly in the championship on the next round, trying to just kind of work on that buffer a little bit. He's got a 28-point buffer sitting in 4th in points, and he is doing his best to hold on to that spot. There you can see action all across the racetrack. We're kind of focusing in, trying to sift through different drivers and see the different battles. We do like to focus on the leader, where now David Douthwaite's still holding on. He's led all 5 laps so far here tonight. Right now he's got a 7/10 of a second lead over Matt Mack, and Michael Miller is in the 48 car. He's in 3rd spot. Tim Wortman Jr. In the 4th position in that double aught car, and Chris Spear holding on to the top 5. And it's funny, I actually got a text message earlier the week from Tim Wortman Jr. We can see he's got the 8-ball whiskey on the hood of the car and on the quarter panel. He said he had to drive 4 hours away west, but he finally found a package store that carries of it, picked up a bottle or 2, and said he might have one over sent in the mail here to us.
And how cool is that? Now, Paul, we just gotta have to make sure it doesn't get lost in the mail, right?
Yes, yeah, we'll make sure we ship it anything other than U.S. Postal.
Hey, you know what? If you have to do U.S. Postal, you might have to get a hold of Mr. Ray Afala. Maybe he can help you out.
Yeah, most definitely. Wes joking about our championship belt for the second time actually getting lost in the mail. Took about a month to get over to Richard Beasley, the champ. Won the Sim 500 Verdane Racing Super Speedway Series Championship a few months back. Finally got around to getting that belt out there, and lo and behold, it got lost in Cincinnati somewhere, and then they sent it off to Kentucky, and it was just a nightmare. But finally got it over to Richard. Very happy with it. He's going to be doing a little bit of an unveiling stream over on his Twitch. You'll be able to check that out. We'll have it all linked up in the Verdane TV social page, and we'll be seeing him in June, the night before the SRX Racing Series debuts at Stafford Speedway. We're going to have Verdane Racing Championship night at the track, Stafford Motor Speedway. Going to have Richard Beasley and last season's champion Jarrett Bolliard hopping in the Run Race Car Street Stocks, and one of those cars is going to be the number 6 car, sponsored by Verdane TV. So really excited about the things coming up here this season. The Stafford Speedway season kicking off here for us in the Run Race Car banner here this weekend with the Spring Sizzler. I'm stoked. It's going to be the first time I've been at a racetrack in a very long time. Didn't really get to go too much last year with the COVID stuff. We still have some restrictions here with the state of Connecticut, but King Lamont did, Governor Lamont rather, did make mention that May 1st we're going to 12 car off track just a little bit. Caleb Levin are trying to hold on to it. But Lamont is opening up the state quite a bit. May 1st, we're going to be able to be outside without any kind of restrictions. And then May 19th, everything else opens up with indoor dining and all that good stuff, too. So great news for concerts, racing venues, outdoor venues, all sorts of stuff. Going to finally be able to go back to living our lives here, and really looking forward to racing season. We got some awesome stuff coming up, and finally taking a quick peek at my emails here in the office at Verdane TV HQ. We've got some pretty cool stuff that it looks like the ink is finally starting to dry on this paperwork. We might have a little something to announce live at the track here at Stafford Speedway, so be sure you take focus over at that Verdane TV Facebook page. We'll probably put some stuff up on Twitter. I know with Neps being down and not racing every week, we kind of lack on our Twitter, but we'll jump over on that as well. But lots of exciting stuff coming up here at Verdane TV.
And Paul, great battle here with the 43 machine, the 15 and the 21, or yeah, the 21 there. Sorry, not the 21. I'm sorry, the 12 of Levener. Battles Kling and Levener here battling this 3-car battle. We saw Levener getting a little bit of trouble there, but 15 able to find his way around the 43. Good hard battle here, trying to battle up into the top 10.
Yeah, Joshua Battle's doing a great job. You can see a little bit of damage on the nose from that contact with the 24 and the 11 a few laps ago, but able to make something of it. You can see really holding on in the top 10. He's in 8th right now and has his sights set on that Ryan Kling machine, the number 15.
And Paul, looking at our intervals up front, it looks like Mackin just a little bit. It's starting to close up on the Douthwaite in the 23. And as I say that, the 9 makes his way around the 23, Paul. He makes his up through the horseshoe here, and we got a new leader, the 9 of Mackin.
Yeah, looking at timing and scoring, he had about 4/10 of a second there of a gap, and then all of a sudden, boom, there he was. So a great lap there for the 9 of Matt Mackin. Gets around. Gonna have a new leader for the first time here tonight, and you can see already has a little bit of distance between David Douthwaite, but you can see David Douthwaite threw that harpoon out. He's going to try and hold on to the back bumper of the 9 car as much as he can, and you can actually see right up top over the windshields and on the back the spoilers there. Bright green. These guys here in the Fatheads Cup Series put those up there. Those are the drivers, the 16 drivers throughout the field that are vying for the 12 race playoff or the 12 driver playoff. They want to get themselves into the round of 12 is what I'm trying to say. And 4 of these drivers going to be not necessarily going home, but they won't be running for a championship this season. And Preston Prier, Ken Allert, 2 drivers who have already punched their tickets rather for the next round. Pretty excited to see that. And these guys are just doing great. This is what they need to do to race themselves into a championship.
Race for a championship is a hard thing, Paul. I've done it multiple times with Vidane as well as other series. It's can be pretty stressful, and you really got to be on your A game almost every single week. You don't get many mulligans, if any, throughout a season. So it's really, really hard racing here. And now it looks like Mackin has already opened up about a 2-second lead on Douthwaite in that 23. So maybe a little bit of a saving tires there in the beginning of the race, and now he's got that thing lit up. And it's crazy. The 48 of Miller back in the number 48 car in 3rd. That interval is almost 18 seconds, Paul. It just shows how strong those top 2 are.
Yeah, a lot of laps putting down in practice. These drivers usually have about an hour to 90 minutes or so the right before the race to come out and kind of tweaking the cars just a little bit and working the setup and finalize all the different strategies and everything like that. But some of the drivers you can really tell, like Matt Mack and David Douthwaite, Michael Miller here, really putting some laps in here at Road America over the past week or so, and it definitely shows. Just kind of looking, we're seeing, don't see Miller in the top, there he is, 15th, so he's 8 points out and running 3rd right now. I'm not even going to try and do the math because I am very bad at it. But running in the 3rd position right now with a couple of other contenders having some trouble. We saw Wade Palmer the 5th trying to hold on. He's stuck towards the back of the pack, actually running in the 10th position. So a great recovery from him, but still 48 seconds back. And not running any cautions here for Road America, so it's going to be tough for these drivers to make up track position. Really going to have to do it right on the track and down on pit road as well.
Watching these cars coming around this big track, and I love that NASCAR is able to add the Cup Series to COTA. That gives these leagues an opportunity to plant that seed in their head to put their own cars onto it. So, man, it's such a cool thing seeing these cars just whip around these corners. And you mentioned it earlier, Paul. Kind of gives you a Watkins Glen feel, especially the blue tealish walls that you have. It just gives you that nature feeling. As I said before, it almost makes you feel like they're just driving through the 7 car here off track. He's getting back rock and rolling, but it gives you that feel that they're just driving through a park as we see Mr. Spear get back onto the road.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different changes in the elevation as well, uphill, downhill. Right on board with Wortman Jr. here in the 00, who just inherited that 4th position with Chris Spear. You can see wide open here, and you can see almost looks like a jump at the end of the straightaway here. We go uphill, you can kind of go through. The car wants to leave the ground just a little bit, but you're wide open at this point. 4th gear, 84, 85, 8,800 RPMs, and then you back it all the way down to almost 1st gear, and you slam on the brakes and make this hard right turn. But what's cool about this track here, Wes, is it's a wide open turn. So as soon as you're off the gas, you're right back on it.
It's a driver's track, Paul. You get those high speeds, you got those hard corners. We see him just turn it on that wheel, go off the track. Does Wortman? He's cutting the grass here, coming through the corner, getting it back going. As we were saying, it's a driver's track. It really challenges you, and the cream rises to the top. You got to be able to go from 160 mile an hour down to 70 real quick, or down to 60, getting through these corners. And you got to do it really quickly and then back on the gas. It's not only physically straining, but it's mentally straining because you have to keep focus. All it takes is one lapse of focus, which we may have just seen with Wortman. You can find yourself in the kitty litter or mow the lawn.
Absolutely, and another change up front. David Douthwaite gets back around that 9 car of Matt Mackin, so he's got about 5, 6, maybe 8 car lengths between the two of them, and it's really tough to see which one of these cars is stronger right now. They both seem not quite identical. You can see they are running just a little bit different line throughout this racetrack down to the S's here at this point, and there's that wide open right-hand turn there, but it's very cool to see a lot of different braking points for some of these drivers, and some drivers like to go all the way down to first gear. Whoa, we see the 9 car. That is not good.
Wow!
Must have shifted all the way down to first gear or something along those lines. Got a little bit of wheel hop. That's a big hit. It didn't look like it, but right into those tires for the 9 car. You can see the front end of that car is totaled.
Paul, you don't typically prefer to have open wheel modified on a road course because you need those aerodynamics, and that's it for him, man. I'm going to throw it in the towel for him at that point. That's a rough hit. If we can get a replay quickly here, as we're going to see the number 9 of Mackin headed down pit road to take his car to service, your leader, and was pulling away from the 23 of Douthwaite. Unfortunately here, taking his car down to pit road, and I'm sure Paul's going to get us a replay here to see exactly what happened to our leader. But you don't see that all the time, but I was just talking about it. One lapse of judgment, and that can happen.
Yeah, we'll take a quick peek at the Kong Beer Bong instant replay, and here's the 9 car running in the second position, and you can see just kind of the back end comes all the way around. Just the car keeps turning, and he slams into those tire barriers. That's going to be a long pit stop trying to get that thing repaired, but at least he was able to get it back to pit road. You're going to see just how resilient that 9 car can be, because he is in the points battle. He's currently in 8th position. He's only got 11 points of a cushion between himself and 12th, so going to be working on that car, thrashing and bashing for sure, and he'll be back out on the track to see if he can make the best of a terrible situation. But there you can see David Douthwaite. We've got another car on the 95 car.
95.
Loses the back end. I think that was the same corner.
Man, they're getting a little slick around here. I don't know if that was the same corner. It may have been, or at least near the same corner. Boy, oh boy, this track's starting to eat up some cars.
Yeah, we can see right now, taking a quick peek at the weather there. We're 96 degrees for the track temp, so definitely hot and slick here. And these cars are very big, very heavy, especially in the iRacing simulator. You don't necessarily get to feel the weight, unless you got one of the high-dollar simulators hooked up to the computer. But if you're just racing at your desk, you don't really necessarily get to feel that. But man, oh man, it definitely shows in the car. And David Douthwaite doing a great job here. There's a 15-second lead over Michael Miller in the 48 car. You can see a little bit of off track, but doesn't seem to affect him too much.
So this just opened up the door for the 23 at Douthwaite. Douthwaite kind of saw his lead evaporate pretty quickly, saw the 9 pulling away, and I think as a driver at that point, like, all right, just hit my marks, and hopefully it comes back to me. And he was given a gift there by Mackin. So, again, this is a long race. As you saw, there's 14 turns, and you got to do that 30 times. You got to take 14 corners 30 times around this track, and doing the quick math at that point, you're making 420 turns, almost right on the date. That's a lot of concentration, Paul.
Absolutely. We're seeing David Douthwaite. It looks like he's going to split this race into 3, coming down on lap number 11 to get fuel and tires for that machine. And David Douthwaite's doing exactly what he needs to do to get on to the round of 12. Currently scored in the 12th position, tied for the 12th position, is David Douthwaite. So he doesn't want to try and point into this deal. He wants to try and win and get that free berth right onto the 12 and knock one of these other drivers out of here on points. But you can see a lot of drivers down pit road now. There you can see the 11 car, the Michael Jordan ride, or the Denny Hamlin ride. Michael Jordan on the hood, the 48 outlet machine's down there. Zemer in the 22, he's down there. Absher in the 19 car, he's down on pit road. But down and away is the 23. David Douthwaite, great stop, 14.9 on the ticker, and only lost a spot. Chris Spear was able to get around him, put a little bit of distance, but Chris is also going to have to come down pit road in that 7 car at some point. So inheriting the lead here is going to be David Douthwaite here in a few laps.
So, Paul, we're over 10 laps in now to this COTA race, and I got to say, I think I jumped in like lap 2 or 3, and I'm honestly impressed. I hope that the real life cars put on just as good of a show as these guys are, even though that the intervals are pretty big. I mean, Douthwaite has a huge lead right now on Spear. Even under the green flag conditions when he had the lead on Miller, but these guys are still giving us some entertainment. They're putting on a heck of a show.
Yeah, absolutely, and they did a little different setup than Coda. We raced there a few weeks ago. A lot of tight turns in that, like 90-degree turns, and there's a bunch of them, and it's a quick racetrack, but it's got a lot of slow turns. A little bit different is Road America. You see, you've got these wide sweeping current turns that Chris Spear showing what he's worth here, coming up the S's or down the S's, as it were, whichever direction that's actually going in. But it's real similar to Watkins Glen, and that's you pretty much nailed it right on the head. You've got that light blue in the walls and trees and shrubbery and all sorts of wildlife around the track, so a very beautiful facility. iRacing did an awesome job checking this out or getting this all scanned in. And this is one of the setups and one of the racetrack combinations and or racetrack and car combinations that you at home can enjoy as well. Just shoot on over to iRacing.com. It's like $10 a month, and you can pick up all the racing action that you possibly need. And then you can see Chris Spear going to give up the lead after leading a lap to come down pit road. He's going to get some service and down and away. And you can see back in the background there, David Douthwaite in that Columbia number 23. Going to be coming back up around here, crossing the start-finish line as he kind of passes pit road entry here with some fresh tires. Going to be putting down some good laps here as he inherits the lead.
And they are just flying down this front stretch and then getting hard onto the brake before this first right-hander. Douthwaite, though, he's shown dominant pace. The one car that showed that, all right, he has something for him was that 9 of Mackin. And Paul, I haven't even seen Mackin back out on the track yet. He may be. I know that right now they're showing him 3rd place, so he possibly is back on the track. But there's no way that car is back 100% unless these guys have some resets. And judging by that front end, they do not.
Well, it looks like they might have hit it once or twice with a hammer, maybe put a piece of duct tape, but he said, you know what, we're just going to run it. So right now he is on the same pit cycle. He did come down a lap or two ahead of everybody else, so he may have had a good lap with a fresher time or a quicker time with fresher tires. But on the same pit cycle, running second right now is Matt Mackin, so that's definitely good news for the 9 crew. You can see the front of that car is just completely demolished. Had a little incident there 2 or 3 laps ago where we lost the back of the race car and just smashed into the tire barrier over in one of the turns. And well, there you can see running like a modified that we're going to be racing at Stafford Speedway this weekend.
Props to the heart this guy has, man, because after you're leading the race, you fumble the ball, you trash your race car, you probably have killed any chance that you have to race, and he's still out here trying to bring home a top 5. So I give him kudos for the heart that he has and the determination. Again, we said it earlier in this race, it's not over to the checker flag fly, so you still don't know what's going to happen. Somehow the man is still sitting. Right now they haven't scored a 3rd place somehow or another. But nonetheless, he's doing one heck of a job. And, we're getting close to the halfway point. The guy to beat for the longest time was the number 23 machine. Let's see how it all works out after the pit stops all cycle through.
So currently David Douthwaite, the 23 car, holding on to that lead. Matt Mackin in the 9 car has made his way back up to second. The 48, another Hendrick Motorsports entry there. You see him on your screen. Michael Miller, 13 Preston Perrier, and Tim Wortman Jr. holding out to the top 5. Chris Spear, after that incident off track there in the 7, he's running 6th. Brian Kling in the 15s running 7th. Wade Palmer the 5th. He has moved himself back up into the 8th position. We can see sounds like some issues on the 7 car. Kind of over-revving that machine just a little bit, but everything seems A-okay at this point. Joshua Battles in the 43. He's running 9th, and a 10th place driver, currently Caleb Levener.
Fun racing here, Paul. However, my duties are going to have to come up short. I have another obligation that's going to start here at 10 a.m. So, man, I got to say thank you for having me back here in the booth. I'm glad I had to take that whiz break because, hey, I found an old friend in here calling a race, and hopefully we can call another one here soon, man. And good luck to these drivers. It was good catching up with you, man. This is a lot of fun again.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming in, and you're always welcome. Well, I guess whenever you have to take a leak again.
Sounds good. Be safe. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the show.
riding shotgun now with David Douthwaite in the number 23 car. Cool, calm, and collected. Pretty much just has to hit his marks at this point out. Just about approaching the halfway marker here, working lap number 13. 30 laps on the docket, and that 23 car's got a 13-second lead over Matt Mackin in the number 9 car. So some great racing throughout here, and you can see a couple of small incidences where the 23 kind of pops off track, but he jumps right back on and doesn't affect the speed too much. There you can see Matt Mackin, really hard impact with some tire barriers a few laps ago. Came down pit road, got some tires, and did a quick little bang on it with a virtual hammer. Looks like everything that doesn't quite look A-okay, but seems to be running all right. Running relatively decent lap times. Last time by a 2-minute 18-second, and that's one of the top 3 or 4 times throughout this field here. There you can see his teammate in the 48, Michael Miller, doing a great job as well. Has a relatively clean car, a couple of dings and dents throughout. Chris Spear running the 7 car in the 4th position. Tim Wortman Jr. again still rounding out the top 5, and it's pretty status quo throughout the race. There you can see a little bit of hiccup there for the 43 of Joshua Battles, and you can see just trying to really collect it, running in the 8th position right now. And we saw him get into a little bit of an incident earlier on with the 24 and the 11 car. So, there we can see the 95 of Eller having some issues, able to hold on to it right in front of Ed Boyles Jr. there in the 88. Ed Boyles moved himself back up to the 15th position. We can see Ian Yeager in the 27. He's going to come off pit road. Currently the first car lap down in 12th position, and he's going to try and hold on to that spot. You can see a little bit of a battle on track, but not necessarily a battle for position. Tim Wortman Jr. currently running in the 5th position. Jimmy Absher in the 18 car, the M&M's Camry, he's running back in the 13th spot, a lap down. So David Douthwaite really putting on a clinic here, picking these laps up and putting them down. As you can see, he's getting right behind Ken Ellert in the 95, getting ready to try and put him a second lap down. And you can see that 95 car, no worse for wear, trying to hold on to the championship position there in the 95 car, and currently scored technology works works well when it wants to. Ken Ellert actually a winner in the round of 16, so he's already punched his ticket into the round of 12. He's going to be racing for a championship next round here as we see it. So just trying to hold on to a decent finish. There you can see he's going to move on to the way and let Dave Douthwaite go on through. Doesn't want to affect the outcome of the race, and you can see kind of switching through the onboards. Here's Derek Cook in the 14 car, trying to close in on the back bumper of I believe that's the 43 car right in front of him. No, that's Ed Boyles Jr. right in front of him. So a lot of different battles on the racetrack. And we can see the 27 car, the Xbox ride of Ian Yeager. He's running in the 12th position. A lot of battles on the racetrack, but not necessarily for position, as we kind of cycle through here and see just where some of these drivers are running. Kind of focusing on where the exciting battles are, where the more exciting battles are. A lot of drivers throughout here as we just cross the halfway marker. There's David Douthwaite holding on to his 13.5-second lead over Matt Mackin. And drivers really logging laps at this point, and it's bad. It's finally in the back of everybody's head where you have to race the racetrack first, and then you can worry about your competition. And your biggest competition here at Road America, really any road course here with the Cup cars, is the track. The track is going to be your biggest competition. You need to make sure that you hit your marks. You need to go through and do your homework. You really have to study where the braking points are, where the acceleration points are, what's going to make the car faster, what's going to make the car slower. And once you've got all that done, then you can start looking at the other drivers. Okay, what are they doing? Well, how are they quicker? How are they slower? Where is it that they potentially may be messing up? Where are the most errors happening and stuff like that? And once you can kind of combine all that, well, you end up with a run like the 23 of David Douthwaite's having here at Road America. You can see he's got a 13-second lead and really picking up these lap times and putting them down. He's relatively quick. We can see he's got the quickest lap time of the race as we look quickly. Nope, Tim Wortman Jr. with the quickest lap time. It's going to be a 2-minute 16.104 second. So that's definitely blistering fast here at the 14-turn Road America, and Tim Wortman still running in that 5th position. But really cool to see these Cup guys, these Fathead Cup Series drivers here on the road courses. They put on a clinic here at the Circus of the Americas down in Texas, a new track actually going to be on the NASCAR schedule here, and very cool to see. It's kind of gives us a little bit of a preview as to what we're going to see. Different faces, yes, different drivers. Oh, you can see the 13 of Preston Perrier. He's off track. A lot of damage on that race car. Still in the lead lap, but looks like he's going to lose a spot here to Alonzo King. Alonzo actually got caught up in a wreck the very first lap here, leading the race. An unfortunate event, but you can see that car still relatively quick. He's going to get around the 13-4 position here as they thunder on down into turn number 1. So bump Alonso into the top 10. Preston Perrier, he's going to run in the 11th spot. And he's the other driver, Preston is, in that 13 ride. He's the other driver that's already locked into the round of 12. And he's just trying to hold on to a decent finish. He's currently running 11th, the last car on the lead lap. And you can look way off in the distance. You'll be able to see David Douthwaite, who's really starting to close in on the back bumper of the 13. Still has a bit of time here. But Preston just came down pit road a few laps ago and has a little bit fresher tires, but there you can see there's a lot of damage in the front of that race car, and seems to be running relatively on pace, but not quite as fast as the leaders. It's a 2-minute 19 versus a 2-minute 22 second between the 13 and the 23. So not quite the night that Preston Perrier was looking for, but luckily he's going to be able to fall back on that win at Nashville, and he'll be moving on to the next championship round. All these drivers still going to be in the race for sure as we race next week. Here on Verdane TV, going to be at Loudon, New Hampshire, the 1 mile, kind of a super speedway short track almost. So that's going to be a very exciting race. We just had the modified racing action getting ready to kick off here, and or the big late model race that New Hampshire's putting on. So pretty cool to be able to see the track in real life and to be able to see the track here on iRacing. And again, this is something you can do at home. iRacing.com. It costs about $12 a month, and you can get your favorite cars and your favorite tracks and try all the different combos. There's dirt racing, rallycross racing, the road course racing with the Cup cars that you're seeing on your screen now, and lots of cool stuff. The Legends cars, super late models, pretty much everything and anything. And we've seen it all here at Verdane TV because, well, we like entertaining the masses, and we want to have the most popular cars, the most popular tracks, and the most popular leagues here on the league, and really try and entertain all of our fans out there. And we appreciate everybody sticking around over on Verdane TV's Facebook page and YouTube. So be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, a share, all that good stuff, and let your friends know that you're watching some iRacing here on Verdane TV. But made mention, lots of cool stuff coming up, starting to work on Wednesdays now with the Tim's Corner Motorsports group. Tim Terry putting on a podcast there on Wednesday nights now before the Fatheads Cup Series. And he's going to be doing that Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. And pretty cool to have that move from Monday to Wednesday nights. Mondays, we've got the Sim 500 Trans Service Cup Series. Same car that you're seeing here tonight, but a little bit different league and a little bit different schedule as well. We've got those guys are going to be on Mondays every single night here throughout the season, throughout November, I believe. And then Sim Racing Unleashed on Sunday nights. They're going to be wrapping up. They've got 2 more races here with us, Bristol and Talladega, and they're going to be crowning a champion there at 100 laps at Talladega. But see the 23 car really slow here. It looks like it was just a slow corner as he backs all the way off the throttle. Kind of doesn't really hammer back down on it, but you can see looks like the 23 might be starting to kind of slip into fuel conservation mode as running a little bit less aggressive than he was earlier on, and we can definitely see in the lap times he's got it back to an 11-second lead. Nope, check that. That driver's going to go down pit road, so He's going to work on the race car and change it back up. So Michael Miller going to be the second place car. Chris Spear moves up to third. Matt Mackin back to fourth in that 9 car, and Tim Wortman still holding on to the 5th position. And you can take a quick peek up on the top of your screen. That's where the racing action is. It kind of shows you where everybody's running. You can also follow along vidane.net/web timing, and you'll be able to pull up a timing and scoring sheet. Shows where all of your drivers are, and lets you know what their lap times were, how many laps they've led, and all that good stuff. So very, very cool little piece of technology that we've got there, and it's great that we'll be able to use these drivers. Oh, 13 off track again. That's not the first time he's been down in that kitty litter. There must be some strawberry daiquiris or something down in that beach, because the 13 of Preston Courier dipping on down to the beach once again, really having a rough go of it. He's able to kind of back up and fall on the heels, as it were, of his win at Nashville. So he's going to be sliding right into the championship round of 12 as we kick it off next Wednesday night right here on Vidane TV at New Hampshire Speedway. But just really trying to hold on here tonight for a good finish, and it's really, really tough to see some of these drivers start struggling. And one of the drivers we're actually getting tuned in over on the Facebook page, Kelly Levener, said he's toasted. Road courses sucks. Is a must-win situation coming into the next coming up races here. So it's going to be tight. The points are crazy here with the Fatheads Cup Series, and you get all that action. That should be the first thing you do. Check these guys out over on Facebook, facebook.com/Fatheads Cup Series, and that's Fatheads with its Z, just like the sponsor. They've got the points updates, story updates, some great pictures and imagery of these races from both our perspective and some of the drivers' perspectives as well. So you get that, and you get a link over to the website as well, where you can get the team roster, the link to all the partners and everything else like that. So you can see it. 23 still a status quo up front. He's got a great big lead over the number 7 car of Chris Spear. Had a couple of incidences. Here's actually a battle for second place. The 48 of Michael Miller caught up to the back bumper of the number 7 car, and you can really see there's a little bit of damage throughout these cars, some dings, some dents, a couple of bruises, but nothing too worse for wear. And you can see that beautifully painted number 7 car, Chris Spear, really doing a great job holding on to that second position right now. Michael Miller, though, in that Hendrick Motorsports ride, he wants it. He wants to get around him and try and move his way a little bit closer to the front. Mike Miller currently 15th in points, 8 points outside of the bubble. If he's able to move up 2 more positions and possibly get around the 23 at David Douthwaite, that could potentially put him, or that would put him, into the round of 12. But that's going to be a tall order, because David Douthwaite's currently leading this race. He's going to win his way in if he can hold on to that lead. But it would be a tight points battle, as Dave Douthwaite currently is 12th in points, tied for 12th in points, that bubble spot. So some intense racing on track, but the more intense battle here is a battle of numbers, and that's going to be the math going into this championship battle. And you can see the 7 car a little bit off track, but the 48 kind of backed up as well. But a great battle here for second between Chris Spear and Michael Miller. Taking a step back just a little bit further into the field. There you can see the 9 car of Matt Mack, and he is currently 8th in points in the 11th position, trying to hold on to a top 5, any kind of decent finish here tonight. That's going to put him into the round of 12. You can see he's got that green banner up above the windshield as well on the back, the spoiler. So he is in the round of 16, trying to race points his way into the round of 12. And you can see major incident earlier on, about 10-15 laps ago, came out of this corner right here, I believe, and no, it might have been a different corner. But he lost the back end of the race car, came all the way around, spun, and hit the tire barrier. And there you can see the damage in the back of it. But luckily, he was able to grab a gear, get pointed in the right direction, came right down to pit road. Pit crew did exactly what they needed to do, and not exactly the prettiest car, not exactly the quickest car, but still holding tough there in the 4th position. It definitely shows that Matt Mackin and the 9 crew worked on that race car, did a lot of practice laps here at Road America, because you can see now the double op machine of Tim Wortman Jr., he's trying to reel in that 9 car. You can see him. He can set the crosshairs in the back bumper. He's trying to close in on him, but these road courses pretty tricky to kind of maneuver. We're starting to work lap number 19, 2/3 in the bag here. 30 laps on the docket and 19 laps in the books, and there you can see another car around. I believe that might have been, it's tough to say who that was. That was a 9 of Matt Mackin. So a bad night gets worse. Matt Mackin spins out. He drops back to 5th. It's going to give the position up to Tim Wortman Jr., sliding up into the number 4 spot as you see the other car go by there. And Matt just really struggling with that 9 car, trying to hold on to the top 5. He's got a little bit of a distance between he and his teammate in the 6th position. There you can see the number 24, Wade Palmer, the 5th. He's trying to hold on to a good night. Currently running in the 9th position. He came into tonight with a 10-point advantage over the bubble spot for the 12 drivers that are going to be moving on here. And it looks like he's doing what he needs to do, kind of holding on to a good run or a decent run here at Road America. Ryan Kling in the 15 car, missing the hood on that car. You can see some dings and dents on the Spartan Mosquito car, the 15 ride. And he's running 7th, so everything A-okay there. But you can see just having a rough go of it, as it were. A lot of damage on that car. And back to the 43, the Cheerios ride of Joshua Battles, running in the 8th position. Is quite a ways back from the leader, about a minute and a half. Oh, there you can see down on the beach, getting caught up in the sand. That's going to give Ed Boyles Jr. the opportunity to come up and around. That battle wasn't for position. Ed currently running in the 14th position, 1 lap down, and he's got a couple of drivers to pass before he can even become the first car 1 lap down. But that's a particular award that's going to go to Preston Purrier briefly, but it looks like the leader getting ready to come up on some lap traffic. There you can see Alonzo King in the 47 and the 14 of Derek Cook. But that David Douthwaite machine, he is coming in a hurry, closing in on the back bumper of those lap car drivers. And we'll take a quick peek on the inside of the car. We'll follow along on the cockpit here behind the steering wheel on the number 23 car. And you can hear just how he's kind of feathering the throttle, coming through the corners, straightens the wheels out, hammer down, gets up on through the gears, and then he's going to mash the gas or mash the brake one more time, kind of let it drift on through the corners. And you can see just how much quicker this 23 car is than some of the lap traffic, as you can see that car right up in front getting bigger and bigger as he kind of makes a way through the gears. And this road racing really is an art form. As you can see, a fantastic corner there, just gets within striking distance, and you can see he's going to come up through the S's, and this is where he's quick. This is where the 23 car really makes up a lot of time. As you can see, kind of closing in ever so slightly, and runs a little bit different line than a couple of other drivers. A lot of these guys like to do kind of a great big wide open apex, but this driver gets right up on the apron and kind of slides on down. But this lap, he's going to come down. Status quo, going to come down. Lap number 20. That is a race that is playing out completely to strategy. It looks like he's going to come down for service on that car, get 4 fresh tires, get a full tank of Sunoco race fuel, and he'll be down and away. And that's going to give, just like the last pit cycle we had 10 laps ago, Chris Spears going to inherit the lead, hold on to it for a little bit, but same pit cycle there, a little bit different for Chris Spears. He's going to be coming in more than likely this lap. There you can see Michael Miller in the 48 car. He's going to come down pit road. Wade Palm in the 5th, currently running in the 4th position, and he's going to be coming down pit road here shortly. Tim Wortman Jr. on and off pit road. There you can see him in the 5th position. Matt Mackin all the way back here in the 6th spot, as he's really holding on for a good finish, or a decent finish at this point, with all the damage on the front end of that race car. Definitely a tall order, but doing everything he possibly can, and you can see it's really starting to show, but starting to slip on back, as it were, and as about 8 or 9 seconds or so back to the 15 car of Ryan Kling. And there you can see Ryan Kling once again, still missing the hood, but everything seems to be A-okay. Doesn't seem to be affecting the handling too much. Joshua Battles, we checked in with him a little bit earlier on, and the Cheerios Hamburger Helper number 43 ride, holding on to that 8th spot. And Derek Cook, Preston Purrier rounding out the top 10. 10 drivers still on the lead lap here, taking a peek of the 20 that started. It appears to be 18 drivers still in this race. Caleb Levener in the 12 car has retired, as has Kenny Capola. I believe Trevor Absher and Wayne Bowen have both retired from the race as well. So not quite the night those guys were looking for, but still anybody's ball game at this point if they can get around that 23 of David Douthwaite. You can see he's made his way back off pit road, and status quo, that driver really picking up and putting down, and didn't really affect his lap time too much, even coming down pit road last time by. But you can see he's going to try and close in on Alonzo King, the 47 car. He's already a lap down, but gives him something to shoot for. That 47, definitely a fast car here at Road America, but an unfortunate incident there on lap 1. Got the 47 pointed up in the wrong direction, and that's always a tough break no matter where you're at. Road America, Bristol, anywhere you're pointing in the wrong direction is a bad night. But there you can see Chris Spear, the number 7 car, coming down pit road for what should be the final scheduled pit stop of the evening. And he's going to hand that lead back over to David Douthwaite, and we'll see exactly what the gap is after the pit stop. But that's going to be the way to really try and make up time on this driver on track. David Douthwaite picking him up, putting him down, really burning off some quick lap times all race long as he works lap number 22. So 8 to go here at Road America. But you can see just getting past the entrance of pit road now, and Chris Spears still in the pit stall there. So you'll see David Douthwaite fly on by. There's Alonzo King, and there goes Dave Douthwaite, and it looks like still halfway through the pit stop. So not quite going to be the pit stop the 7 car was wanting, but still going to be pretty solid. Just not going to be able to make up too much time here on the 23 car. Looks like a 15.2 second pit stop for the, nope, 7 car still on pit road, so he's going to be working on some damage. He's going to give the second position over to Michael Miller, and Tim Wortman Jr. going to inherit the 3rd spot. Chris Spears still sitting on pit road, getting some damage worked on. That may very well allow Matt Mackin to get back up into the 4th position. Indeed it does, as you see, he gets around there. It's taking a quick peek. Chris Spears still sitting on pit road, so there might be more damage there than we thought. Just taking a quick peek. Doesn't look like, there we go, finally down and away. So a 55-second pit stop. Looks like they kind of hammered out some of the damage that was on that car. He's going to come off pit road here, it looks like, in the 6th position. So it's going to shake up the top 5. There you see Palmer the 5th, and the 24 car going to kind of come out right behind the number 7 car, and that's going to be a battle for 6th place right now. Wade Palmer trying to get everything he can to try and hold on to his bubble spot. He came in with a 10-point cushion over that 12th place in points, so doing everything he possibly can to have a good run tonight to make sure that the points work. There you can see driver off track there. Believe, well, there's that Boyles down pit road, and lots of drivers. Long race here tonight. That was a 27 car pointed in the wrong direction. That's Ian Yeager. There you can see, and the front of that car pretty broken, looking like a modified up front, but it doesn't seem to be affecting him too much. He is a little bit slower on the stopwatch, and it looks like that car's handling very poorly with all the damage on the front side. There's no downforce, so when you get into those corners, really hard to make that thing turn. But back up front, still David Douthwaite, 23 machine, the Columbia Toyota. He's doing a great job. Led most of the race here, a little bit of back and forth earlier on, but has led the final 2/3 of this race, and has a 9.2 second lead over the Hendrick Motorsports driver, the 48 of Michael Miller. Tim Wortman Jr. moved himself into the 3rd position. Matt Mackin 4th, Ryan Kling in the 5th spot, and the drivers still on the lead lap. Chris Spear, Wade Palmer the 5th. Derek Cook, Joshua Battles in the 9th spot. Alonzo King, we just saw, or we're seeing right now on your screen, getting ready to go 1 lap down. And you'll probably see that that 47 car put up a little bit of a fight. Doesn't want to lose a lap, but he also doesn't really want to affect the outcome of these drivers' races. And there you can see the 9 car in the background there of Matt Mackin. So he's going to be, oh no, that's the 27 car behind him. Check that. But David Douthwaite kind of right behind the 47. Doesn't appear to be pushing the issue too much. He knows this car's a bit faster, but at this point really has an opportunity to kind of take his time just a little bit. He's got an 8.5 second lead now over the 48 of Michael Miller. He's kind of slowly losing a little bit of that lead, but you can see he's kind of backing the corners up a little bit. Wants to take it slow, doesn't want to make a mistake. We've seen a lot of mistakes here throughout the night here at Road America, and that was the tail of the tape when we raced COTA, the Circuit of the Americas at Texas, a few weeks back at the tricky road course. It's one of those deals where you don't want to slow down too much because it kind of puts you outside of your psyche, but it'll allow you to make sure that you can really focus on those corners, focus on the line, make sure you don't over throttle it or lose the back end of the race car or anything like that. And you can see just really lost about a second that last time by. You see a little bit of a wiggle there out of the 47 of Alonzo King, but still pointed in the right direction. And Douthwaite really slowing the pace down just a bit. Wants to make sure that car comes back home in one piece. And you can see, given the opportunity behind him for that 13 car, Preston Courier, to move up into the back and potentially get his lap back. You're looking at the 13 machine trying to get his lap back the hard way. The first car one lap down, and we aren't running any cautions laps here at Road America just because it would take so long for these drivers to get around the racetrack under cautions. So we're full green all the way out through. You can't really bank on a pit stop for strategy or anything like that, but there you can see the 23 gets around the 47, picks the pace back up, and actually ran a very good lap time, 2 minutes 20 seconds or so. So a little bit slower than the second place driver, and the second place driver, Michael Miller, still closing in 6.5 seconds back. But you can see David Douthwaite really working the lap tracking at this point. Traffic rather gets around the 18 car. No harm, no foul. Jimmy Absher getting put a second lap down in that 18 ride. So David Douthwaite doing an awesome job, really kind of controlling the pace here. He backed it up just a little bit. He wants to make sure he focuses. 12th place in points, tied for 12th place in points on that bubble spot. Needs to win his way into the round of 12, and he knows he can't do that with a wrecked race car. So he's doing everything he can to try and back these corners up, try and slow the corners down. There you can see some contact with the Alonzo King machine in the 47. That's what the 23 is trying to avoid. He doesn't want to get in here. He doesn't want to hit the rumble strips. He doesn't want to go down out of the kitty litter. Doesn't want to go down on the beach for a strawberry daiquiri. Wants to make sure he stays on the pavement, all four tires pointed in the right direction, and he wants to win this race and make sure that he is a part of the round of 12 in the championship of the Fatheads Cup Series this season. And what a better way to show that you are championship caliber than to come out and dominate the race. A little bit different style racing than we're used to, but road course racing, always a monkey wrench in everybody else's plans. And you can see David Douthwaite must have had this race circled on his calendar for a very long time, because just picking up these laps, putting them down like it's nobody's business, doing a great job holding on to the lead. And you can see really focusing on the track. Pick the pace back up, because now that lead is back to 7.5 seconds over Michael Miller. And we'll take a quick look at him in the 48, the Ally ride, doing the same thing. We can see he's gotten around the 47 car of Alonzo King. So he's got no cars really behind him challenging, and nobody in front of him. So he's really able to focus on the racetrack. And I'm actually taking a peek at the timing and scoring. The last time by was the quickest lap time for the 48 car of Michael Miller, 2 minutes 16.531 seconds, and that came on lap number 24. So business is starting to pick up in the 48 camp. They know that if they want to get around the 23, they have to first catch them, and then they've got to get around them. And I think that's going to be two things that are very, very different. Want to check in with everybody over on the Facebook and the YouTube pages. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Vinane TV here tonight. We're watching the Fatheads Cup Series. These guys are sponsored by Fatheads Eyewear, so be sure to check those guys out over at fatheads.com. That's Fatheads with a Z, and use the promo code Showtime at checkout for 40% off. I know I picked my pair up a few weeks back. They got shipped out, and I got the Black Nitros version 2. Made in America. I got the clear lenses so I don't get the raccoon sunburn when I wear the sunglasses at the racetrack. And I got them for 40% off for supporting these guys here at the Fatheads Cup Series. So support those that entertain you. Throw a little bit of coin in the pockets of these drivers as they look to kind of flaunt their talents and their wares here on Verdane TV, and we appreciate them for it. As we can see, these guys putting on a great show. A little bit of a wiggle for the 48, but starting to reel back in. It's kind of a yo-yo effect here between these two drivers. It kind of shrinks down to maybe 5 seconds or so, and then the lead will pick right back up. So David Douthwaite, Michael Miller holding on to the top two spots within 7 seconds or so of each other. But then it's another 22 seconds on back to third place, and there you can see him, Tim Wortman Jr. and the 00, the 8-ball whiskey car. Lots of dings and dents on that car, but still holding tough, holding on to that podium spot. Matt Mackin in the 9 car, he's seen better days with that race car. That nose is completely tore up and off of that race car, but he's holding on to the 4th position. Chris Spear, we've seen a couple of times have a couple of on-track incidents, rounding out the top 5, the 24 of Wade Palmer, the 5th. Pretty much trying to survive the road courses here at this point, as he's deep in the points, but he's still able to hold on to the top 12 position in the points. You can see he's got a relatively clean car, a couple of dings and dents, but that's kind of status quo throughout the field. And taking a look here, 7th place, Ryan Kling in the 15 ride. Same deal. Well, no new dents on that car, so that's definitely good news there. In the 7th position, Joshua Battles in the 43. Oh, off track, down by the beach again, running in the 8th spot, and that may actually put him in a position to get lapped here. I can see, taking a quick peek, I believe that's David Douthwaite and the deep part of that picture. So tough break for the 43 car. Last car to lead lap, but it looks like he's going to get passed by our leader here very shortly. There you can see the Jaws music almost playing in the background. David Douthwaite coming up in the back bumper, and it seems to be getting in the back of the head of the 43. There you see, made it go just a little bit wide at that point, and going to affect the driving style just a little bit when you're looking in the mirror, because you don't want to go a lap down, but you don't want to get into the leader or anything like that. So you'll be able to see there's Douthwaite in the 23 car, and he's bringing the 13 of Purrier with him. Purrier still a lap down, but he is able to hold on to that leader's bumper. And you can see there's the gap right there. That's pretty astounding to see how much damage is on that 13 car, because he's the next car in line. The 13 is actually going to be racing the 43 for the 8th position. They just have the leader between them, David Douthwaite. So the 13 car, with all that damage, holding on to the leader's back bumper, really learning some things here as we've got 5 laps to go here at Road America. Just being able to kind of tag along and look at the different lines that David Douthwaite's running throughout the track here, and just really good learning experience. I don't believe we've got any other road courses on the schedule here. I could be completely mistaken, but it looks like we're all about the circle track racing from this point forward. So some of the drivers that have been doing really good here throughout the night will be able to kind of capitalize on a good run in the David Douthwaite camp. And the number 23, that Columbia Toyota, definitely going to be one of those drivers, as he's got a commanding lead over Michael Miller in the 48 machine. And there you can see him on track. Relatively clean cars, too, and that's one of the big things here tonight. We've seen a lot of drivers get caught up in a couple of different incidences. So really tough night there. You can see one of those drivers, Preston Perry in the 13, missing the front clip to that car, but still holding pretty tough. There you can see him in the background. Still able to hold up with the leaders. So whatever they did down on pit road, they put a piece of duct tape in the right spot, but still able to get some downforce on that Snar Geico machine. Be sure to check them out on social media as well. Find some good dogs and animals and pets, some good homes. You got all that information over on the Facebook page, both the Fatheads Cup Series as well as Verdane TV. But really starting to come down to the end of it. Long laps here at Road America. 4 laps to go on the board, probably 4.5 or so. And Dave Douthwaite doing everything he possibly needs to make sure that he comes home with a win. There you can see the information, almost 4 miles here, the distance. And the track temp has definitely come down about 10 degrees. We started the night at about 98, 99 degrees. And you can see that surface temperature has come down quite a bit. So really starting to work into the track's favors. There you can see some smoke in front of the leader, and it appears to kind of slow down to a cautious, there's a 43 car up in front of him of Joshua Battles. That might have been the off-track incident that we missed, but still able to keep it pointed in the right direction with that Cheerios hamburger helper machine. And you can see kind of ill-handling race car. But the thing that's really starting to impress me is that 13 car still holding on to the back bumper of the leader. You can see even that lap lead was able to close right up to that back bumper, but not quite able to get up around him to get that lap back. So that could be one of those things where, you know what, maybe we'll save we got some smoke up in front. That's the 43 car, I believe, pointed in the wrong direction. That's going to be Joshua Battles, stuck in the beach once again. He's going to try and do a little bit of four-wheeling and come back out, but he is going to lose a lap. Oh, David Douthwaite around. David Douthwaite around spins as well. Going to have to back that up and take a look at the Kong Beer Bong instant replay real quick to find out what happened to our leader. And really tough to say right off the... It's actually the same thing that happened to the 9 car earlier on. And we can see comes out of the same corner, loses the back end of the race car. And he does lock the tires up so he doesn't hit those barrels. A little bit different than the 9 car, but backs right up into traffic. Oh, and the 48 car, he's going to hit the brakes and slide on down into the barrels as well. That's a tough break. No damage on the 23 car. We'll take a look. Looks like the 48 was able to get that thing pointed in the right direction, but holy smokes, our leader, quick mistake here on the late end of or the late portion of this race. Doesn't really seem like it's affected the lead, but there you can see Alonzo King, the 47 car, been quick all night. He's the first car lapped out. He's trying to get around the leader of the 23, and that's really going to affect the psyche of that leader, because now he can look, with that incident, he can look in his rearview mirror. He can see that deep purple 48 machine. He can see just where that car is and how small his lead is, and he's going to be trying to drive through the windshield as well as drive in the rearview mirror. And oh, by the way, he's got a car right behind him that's trying to get their lap back as they come up the not the front straightaway, but they come around one of the final corners here of the track, and really all about focus now for the 23. The lead is down to 5 seconds, and really crunch time at this point. The 48 knows that if the 23 made a mistake, there's the potential for another mistake. So the 23 definitely all gears running at full speed, up in that gearbox, up in the helmet. Oh man, I made a mistake. What did I do? What don't I do? Thoughts going a mile a minute in the driver's suit or the driver's helmet at this point as they think about what they did and how they can avoid it and all this other stuff. And oh, by the way, you've got a car trying to get their lap back. And oh, by the way, the lead is shrinking. You just lost 3/10 in those last couple of corners. So the 23 car had a huge lead, really able to flaunt his stuff here way out in front of this field. But with the closing 3 or 4 laps or so, you can see that purple 48 machine back there in the second spot getting bigger and bigger. The lead is now 4 seconds as Michael Miller starts to close in on the 23 car. And the 23 car not necessarily racing with lap traffic, but he's trying to keep lap traffic behind him. And you can show that it's definitely affecting his line just a bit. Another mistake from the 23. David Douthwaite goes off into the grass, into the sand. That's going to bring the leader right with him. He spins around again. The 23 car spins around. He grabs the wrong gear, hits the inside wall at the entry of Pitts Road. That is absolutely heartbreaking for David Douthwaite. That's going to give the lead over to Michael Miller. And as they cross the stripe, popsicle sticks in the air. Michael Miller has 2 laps to go here at Road America. Now you're Michael Miller. Now you're in the 48 car. You're inside your head. You just saw the leader make 2-3 mistakes in the same lap, and he's going to drop all the way back down to that 3rd position. And you can see behind him, he's got Matt Mackin coming up on him in a hurry in that 4th spot. Tim Wortman Jr. moving himself into the 2nd position after the early race damage here. You've got less than 8 miles to go here, the 4-mile road course at Road America, and the 48 car trying to avoid calamity, trying to avoid all the other drivers, trying to make sure that he holds on to the racetrack as well. 2 laps to go, a lap and a half to go here to the finish, and he wants to get there. He wants to do it right, as it says there on his corner panel. Wants to make sure that he goes into the championship round of 12 with a win to lock himself in. Looking at the scoring here, Mike Miller came in 8 points out of the bubble in the 15th position. If he can hold on for another lap and a quarter here, he will win, and he will move himself into the round of 12 by winning, not by doing the points thing or anything like that. David Douthwaite is going to end up with a good points night, but is it good enough? Colin Zemer, he had a rough night. Jimmy Absher's a rough night. Mike Miller up there leading. Derek Cook, Alonzo King, those guys had rough nights. And they're all within 5 or 8 points of each other. So going to be really, really tight to see what the points battle looks like as we round out this championship round here, heading into New Hampshire next week with 12 drivers now eligible for that championship. So an absolutely astonishing couple of laps here. The 23 of David Douthwaite, really the commander-in-chief of this race, had a commanding lead, led all the way through both sets of green flag pit stops, came back around with the lead, and we saw about 2 laps ago, made a couple of mistakes. Lost the back end of the race car and almost smashed it into some tire barriers. Almost collected the 48 car, but they were both able to grab a gear and get on going. And then a half a lap later, off-track instance into the dirt, and it gave the lead over to the 48 car of Michael Miller. And now you can see white flag, a white rag in the air. He's going to come back up on that 47 car of Alonzo King. Don't think he's going to try and press the issue. Alonzo is a lap down currently. Or he's still on the tail end of the lead lap. He did get around the leaders to get back on the lead lap, so I don't think you'll see the 48 car press the issue. We're on the last lap here, working the last 4 miles of this race here at Road America, and he's got a 17-second lead over the second place driver, Tim Wortman Jr. in the 00. David Douthwaite all the way back to third after those couple of mistakes there a few laps ago. But at this point, it's all 48, all Ally, and all the way to round at number 12. And there you can see, just really slowing the corners down, doesn't want to make a mistake. All up in his thoughts at this point. Needs to get through these corners, needs to keep all 4 tires on the pavement, and needs to get across that start-finish line first. And that's the goal, and he was able to see that there was a couple of mistakes from the previous leader, the David Douthwaite, the number 23, but he is in fact going to hold on, it looks like, and still has that commanding lead as he comes around. Big sweeping right-hand corner here for the number 48, and doing everything he possibly needs to, and he's doing it right. Coming down through the S's for the final time here, and he's going to make this right-hand turn. Still has 17 seconds behind him. The gap between himself and the second-place driver, Tim Wortman Jr., previous leader David Douthwaite in the 23 car, all the way back in the third position after a couple of incidents. And you can see the 48 car really back in the corners down at this point. Really, really slow. Needs to get through these final couple of corners before he calls himself a race winner here at Road America. And you can see he's going to come out of the final turn. Here you can see the entrance of pit road. All he's got to do is go straight, get through the gears, and hope nothing breaks as he comes up the hill. But he's going to cross the start-finish line. Winner, the number 48, the Ally Machine, the Hendrick Motorsports ride, Michael Miller. He's going to finish this race up front. And man, oh man, exciting finish. Exciting last couple of laps here. You can see Tim Wortman Jr. all the way back here. He's going to come down the super stretch, come up the hill. He's going to cross the line in second. And there you can see David Douthwaite, after the couple of mistakes a few laps ago, he's going to finish up here in the third position. We'll take a quick peek. Mac Mackin and the 7 car of Chris Spear drag racing in the dirt for that fourth place position. Give it to Spear. He's going to make it up the hill first, and Matt Mackin says, you know what? We'll take 5th after the night we've had. Great run for those guys. Wade Palmer, the 5th. He's doing what he needs to do. He's kind of surviving in that 6th position. He's going to come through the S's one more final time and cross the line. Looks like in 6th. Ryan Kling 7th. Preston Perrier is going to be 8th. Alonzo King going to be rounding out the lead lap drivers in the 9th position once he comes around. Joshua Battles and Derek Cook and Ed Boyles Jr. 1 lap down. Ian Eager and Jimmy Absher 2 laps down. Colin Zemer 7 laps down. Ken Ellert, Caleb Levener, Wayne Bowen, Trevor Absher, and Kenny Coppola not finishing the race. But there you can see the race winner. He's burning them down there. Well, he was burning them down there in the beach. He's going to get a congratulatory little bump here from his teammate of the 24. But man, oh man, what a great run and a great finish for these Fatheads Cup Series drivers. And we're going to talk to the top 3 here momentarily. So we'll grab second place, Tim Wortman Jr. Tim, you got a copy?
Yeah, hey Paul, how's it going tonight?
Doing pretty well. Not as good as you. Solid second place finish here after a rough race at Road America, man. Talk to us about it.
Man, I don't know if I call that a solid race. That was one of my more disappointing races of the season. I feels like multiple off-track incidents, bit the wall head on at one point. How I finished second, no clue.
A lot of damage on that 00 car, but lots of damage throughout all of the field we noticed here throughout the night. A lot of off-track incidences, and the caution flags being off kind of threw a little bit of a monkey wrench into everybody's plan, I would think. But everybody's racing with the same thing here. Now, did you come in with any kind of strategy? You know, we had 30 laps on the board. Was there any kind of pit strategy, just kind of splitting the race up evenly?
Yeah, it just go 10, 10, and 10 to the end on pit strategy. So you have fresh tires, get the best out of that. I mean, we all knew that tonight there was going to be keep your car on the track, and you're going to have a good chance at it. You try and run hard to race people as hard as you can, and you miss the braking point the littlest bit, and the car just takes off on you.
And we saw that happen quite a few times, especially with some of the leaders up towards the front. And, well, you didn't win tonight. You didn't win yourself into the playoffs, but you came in with a particularly hefty cushion, 49 points over the bubble, and with a second-place finish tonight. I'm not good at math, but I think you're in for the round of 12. What have you got for New Hampshire next week?
Oh, yeah, it's getting back to the ovals now, and some of the courses I like, it's time to start bringing it. So we're going to have some fun the next 3 weeks, and hopefully get us at least one win to launch us into the next 3 after that.
You've got 8-Ball whiskey all over the car, and you shot me a text earlier on in the week, said you were able to pick up a bottle or two finally. Who else gets it done for the 00 car?
Yeah, we picked up 3 bottles this week, so we're going to have some fun with that.
Mine's in the mail, right?
That's right. Man, Team RCR, they just have been awesome this week on helping me out with the setup. I was out, like I said, I was out of town, and it was nice to have the guys as a team pick me up, as I didn't have much time for practice. Got to thank FATHEADZ, Budget Sim Boxes, SimNut, all the guys that sponsor our league. And once again, Ryan Daly of Starcom Racing, the graphics designer, he has hooked me up with a 8-Ball whiskey Silverado for Road to Pro and our league that we're starting here with the trucks, and can't wait to get out and drive that.
Now, we've got the truck recruitment series you guys just kicked off this week at Daytona. Can you tell the fans a little bit about that?
Yeah, we got a short season kicking off to recruit drivers into the Cup for next season. Just a nice little fun race. Get to know the guys.
Absolutely. You can get all the information over on the FATHEADZ Cup Series website as well as the FATHEADZ Cup Series Facebook page. But not quite the race you were looking for, but a solid finish in the second spot, and you're in for the round of 12. So congratulations. Probably grab a shot or two of that whiskey.
Yeah. Any night I'm talking to you is a good night.
I wish we could tell everybody that.
That's right.
But I'm going to slide on through to the third place finisher, usually third place. And anytime you talk to us here on a podium finish is okay. But Dave Douthwaite, definitely disappointing in the past couple of laps there.
Yeah, there's not much to say about that. It's on me. Spun my tires, caused myself to have some steering damage. Had to do the last 3 laps with some sideways steering, and ultimately that's what cost me to lose it in the final turn there on lap 28 or something.
Yeah, and it was one of those things. You had everything planned out. Came down lap 10, came down lap 20, led 23 laps here tonight at Road America, and pretty much on course to race yourself into the top 12. It's going to be tight looking right now, coming in tied for that bubble spot in 12th. Colin Zemer had a bad, rough night. Jimmy Absher, rough night. So I'm not good at math, but it's definitely going to be tight to see if these points get updated. And if they do get updated, we'll bring it to you here live on the air, absolutely. But if not, shoot on over to the FATHEADZ Cup Series. But a couple of late race mistakes, but it looks like the road courses are done. And if either way, in the Championship 12 or not, still on in New Hampshire next week, and we're back to the ovals. If you got anything for those guys there?
So New Hampshire's a track I'm actually pretty good at. I'm looking forward to that one. Indianapolis, yeah, that one is what that is, and I forget what the third one. Michigan, I think, right?
Yeah, so a little mile, kind of a super speedway short track, as it were, and a couple of bigger tracks as well. So that'll be exciting to see here on Verdane TV.
Yeah, New Hampshire to Michigan, I'll be looking forward to. Indianapolis will be something interesting. But those two tracks I should do decent at, so hopefully I can find my way into the top 8.
And we got Columbia all over the hood and the quarter panel in this number 23 car. Who else gets it done for the 23 Toyota team?
Well, you guys do. The admins, Chris Beer puts a lot of work in. I appreciate everything that he does. Tim Wortman, Matt Mack, and all the admins. There's no sponsors that I actually run. I just run the Bubba Wallace scheme. I like maybe he might actually finish top 3 at a road course at some point in time. I don't know. If not, this might be it. So other than that.
Well, great run here tonight. Disappointing at the end, but got to be happy with at least a podium here tonight.
Yeah, I did what I had to do tonight. I'm happy with the top 3. I would have preferred to get a win, but I'll take a top 3. Mike put a lot of work in, so he deserves it.
Thank you, Tim.
Absolutely, and sliding right on over, we're over here with Mike Miller, the 48 car. Couple of dings, couple of dents, couple of minor bruises on that 48 car, but all in all, right on the corner panel it says "Do it right." You did it right. You came home with the victory here tonight.
Yeah, pulled off clinch. I had to follow up what Bowman did on Sunday, so I had to keep that trend going.
Absolutely, you can see led the final 3 laps here tonight. What was going through your mind when you saw looking at the timing and scoring ticker when you see Dave Douthwaite, that 5-6 second lead went right down to 0? What went through your head?
I didn't realize what happened until I came up to the corner, and then I ended up spinning out, locking it up because he was in the middle of the track, and I had the tire barrier and I had to put it in reverse and try to chase him back down again. They said he had damage, so I was like, all right, just run my race again, and I'll catch him.
It's actually the same incident we saw happen with Matt Mackin in the 9 car, same corner and everything. You actually hit the same tires that he did, but luckily your damage wasn't nearly as bad as him. Matt Mackin ended up, teammate here, the number 9 car, ended up 5th here tonight. But man, great race here. Congratulations on the victory. We know you got sponsors all over the car, and who gets it to happen here for the 48 team? Who gets you to and from the virtual racetrack?
You guys, for doing a great broadcast. It's awesome for you guys to be on board. Simnut, Butt Kicker, Fatheads for jumping on. They do a great job. Harpoon Design, he put the green on this car for me and get this going. I want to do a shout out to my dad, who's in the hospital battling COVID breathing issues. He's been in there for a week. He's on a ventilator, so hopefully he does a fast recovery. So I saved this replay just for him.
Absolutely, and definitely send our best wishes. Get well soon.
Thank you, sir.
And congratulations. Great run here tonight. Great victory. Michael Miller, the number 48 car winner here at Road America. So next week, we're going to have 12 drivers making their way into a championship battle, and we're going to be doing it at New Hampshire. We're going to be doing it live, and that's going to be very, very exciting. Just trying to see if we can get a final quick thing on points here. Don't believe we've got any kind of updates just yet, so definitely be able to shoot on over to the Fatheads Cup Series Facebook page, facebook.com/Fatheads Cup Series, and you'll be able to get all the points actions there. While you're there, click on the link for the Fatheads Eyewear page, their Facebook page, and give them a like, give them a share, and all that good stuff. Big supporters of the Fatheads Cup Series, and we try to support those that support our friends. Be sure to use promo code SHOWTIME at checkout. Get yourself a monstrous 40% off. I know I picked my pair up a couple of weeks back. First pair of sunglasses I've ever had that actually fit my head, so that was pretty cool. And pretty cool to see the 48 car in victory lane, the Ally machine getting it done. Michael Miller racing his way into the round of 12, going to be kicking off next week. And looks like we've got one driver kind of hanging out by the door of the production trailer. Ed Boyles Jr. Finished 12th here tonight, 1 lap down. But what do you got for us?
Hey, Paul. I just wanted to give an update on the updated point standings for the round of 12, who got eliminated in the round of 16. Wasn't sure if you had that yet.
Nope, we were waiting. We were actually going to send everybody over to the Facebook page to get that, but if you've got it, we can do it live over the air.
Yes, sir. So eliminated from the round of 16 will be Derek Cook, Colin Zemer, Jimmy Absher, and Patrick McClendon will not be moving on to the round of 12.
So even after that last race mishap there, David Douthwaite is able to hold on by the hair on his chin, and he's going to race for a championship at least for one more round. We head to New Hampshire next week, Indianapolis the week after that, and Michigan for May 12th. Then we've got 4 races after that. The round of 8, Bristol, Kentucky, North Wilkesboro, championship weekend here on June 9th at Texas Motor Speedway. And that's actually going to be a big weekend here for Verdane TV as a whole, because that is going to be the Verdane Racing Championship season, or championship night at Stafford Motor Speedway on Friday, June 11th. Going to have our Sim 500 Verdane Racing Super Speedway Series champions out racing in the street stocks provided by Rent a Race Car. Richard Beasley going to be in one of them. Jarrett Bulliard going to be in the other. Both drivers bringing their championship belts because both drivers have finally received their championship belts. I don't know why the U.S. Postal Service hates us so much, but for the third time in a row, the Verdane Racing Championship belt went on tour. But that's going to do it here tonight for the Fatheads Cup Series. Great racing action here from Road America, the 4-mile road course. Michael Miller on top. Tim Wortman Jr. in second. David Douthwaite, after a late race mistake, comes home in third. Be sure to check these guys out on Facebook, facebook.com/Fatheads Cup Series, and that's Fatheads with a Z. But that's going to do it here for us tonight, for everybody at Verdane TV, everybody with the Fatheads Cup Series, Fatheads Eyewear, and all of the sponsors, drivers, fans, and everybody else out there. We're going to be doing it live, and we'll catch you on the flip side.